Hello, welcome to Trump 47 Watch. Today's episode provides background material on tariff issues pending a United States Supreme Court ruling due this term. Today is January the 18th, 2026. I'm Merrick Masters, a professor of business emeritus, author, commentator, and podcaster. The case before the Supreme Court was filed in March of 2025, originally before the United States Court of International Trade. It involves 6 companies which are listed as plaintiffs in this slide. The U.S. International Court of Trade ruled on May 28, 2025, holding that the presidential authority invoked under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977 was invalid. The United States Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit affirmed the lower court ruling on August 29, 2025, but stayed the injunction. Here's a timeline of the case pending before the Supreme Court now, and a ruling is due this term, which ends on July of 2026. The legal authorities used to impose tariffs under Trump. There are various statutes that have been used. The case under review involves challenges to the statute used to invoke fentanyl and reciprocal tariffs. There were 5 executive orders that invoked such tariffs. Here's a timeline of presidential actions regarding tariffs since January of this year. The president has 5 options under statutory authority to invoke tariffs, apart from the authority that is claimed to be provided under the International Emergency Economic Protection Act. It is this alleged authority or claimed authority that is under challenge under court that is pending before the Supreme Court now. Here is a graph from the Bureau of Economic Analysis, which shows the goods and services trade deficit over time through October of last year, and it shows that the trade deficit has declined sharply in the last 3 months. Federal revenue raised from tariffs have increased sharply. This shows on a graph the increase in the amount raised in 2025 by comparing it to previous levels raised earlier. The effective tariff rate has also increased significantly, but has been exceeded previously in history. Tariffs collected as a percentage of imports have also risen sharply in 2025, as would be expected by the regime of tariffs imposed by President Trump. Tariffs collected as a percentage of imports have also increased sharply. And that's by country, this previous slide that I just showed. The consumer price index increase has been held relatively steady under the Trump administration so far. This shows the consumer price increase by month and by year over year, which demonstrates that point that I made. And here is a graph of import-export price increases overall and by major category. It shows that overall there has been a relatively minor increase in import prices between November 2024 and November 2025. U.S. manufacturing employment, according to the Federal Reserve Board of St. Louis, I believe, shows that it has declined by 63,000 in 2025. Auto industry employment year over year between December 2024 and 2025 has declined by 2.7%. Average hourly earnings have increased year over year between December of 2024 and 2025 by a little over 3.7%. Here's a little bit of information about myself. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Stay tuned for more. We will be following the court's decision as it is reported, and we will update you then on this matter. Thank you and have a good day.